Good evening. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Welcome. It's Be Healed night. That's right. It's Tuesday night, 7 p.m. That means it's Be Healed night. And I'm so happy to have you. If you're tuning in on Facebook, please make sure you're hitting share and inviting a friend to hang out with us here. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you in advance. If you haven't already hit that subscribe button, please do so you can stay tuned. I am so excited each and every week that I'm able to greet you because, again, when I'm able to greet you, when I'm able to say good morning, good evening, good day, whatever it may be, I am grateful to God for being alive. And with so much happening in this world, aren't you glad to be alive? It could have went another way, y'all. It could be different, but God is so faithful and kind. So I'm excited about that. So tonight we're continuing in a little bit of that same series that I started off season 3 with the young adults, the young people, hearing from the younger generation, because this series is titled Their Voices Matter. It is so imperative that we listen to the young folks. I know oftentimes, I'm an 80s baby. I born in 84, grew up in the 80s and the 90s, and I'm very familiar with being seen and not heard. I'm very familiar with, being put in a child's place. But let's be honest, so much has went on, and we know the importance of expression and sharing and hearing from children. And I think it's important that we never let their voice just die off. We want to hear from them. So I got a chance to kick off season 3 with my nieces, Imani and Naima. Those 13 and 12-year-old young ladies were sharing from the abundance of their heart, their experiences of living in a different country. And tonight, I have the one, the only, the mogul in the making, Miss Makayla Jones. Let me tell you a little bit about Makayla before I bring her in. Makayla is the daughter of my beloved cousin, Roxy Smith. Now, Roxy and I, we go back like 4 flats on a Cadillac. Her and I actually were able to publish and produce a play called I Just Can't Go to Hell back in 2018 and 2019. So grateful for that. But her beautiful daughter, her one and only child, Makayla Jones, let me tell you a little bit about Makayla. Makayla, when I say mogul in the making, she has her own business. Oh, yes. That's right. You don't have to wait till you're 40 in your 50s or in your 30s to start a business. No, you can start a business right now. So if you're under the age or any age and you have that business and you're ready to take that leap, do it. Go for it. And that's what Makayla has done. So she has her own company called Be You. Isn't that amazing? Be you. Why do you want to be anything else? Be you for sure. Always be you. Okay. So she is the CEO and founder of BU brand. As a young Black girl, there has been times when she has felt that she wasn't pretty. Times that she even felt maybe she was been excluded from the in crowd. Different friend groups, and just always knew she was different. But we're called to stand out. But we'll talk about that a little bit later. I don't want to jump ahead. But she started this company and she noticed that people were getting judged because of what they did or how they wore their hair, their own identity. And she wanted to make sure she can create a brand where people felt comfortable being themselves. Positive affirmation, supporting themselves and being her by leading the charge of being her own brand. So she has some merch. She's going to talk about that. I just need to bring her in. She's the granddaughter to Clayton and little mama. I call her little mama Turner. We're so grateful to have her on this line. So can y'all put some hearts? Welcome my beloved little cousin, Miss Makayla Jones, the mogul. Okay, Makayla, I'm like, what happened to my light? I saw you and then the light went away. There we go. Hey, baby. Hi,
Hi,
honey. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Welcome to Be Healed, honey.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be here.
I'm so glad to have you. So, you know, we got a chance. I got a chance to read your bio a little bit and why You shared a little bit in your bio why you created Be You, but let's just talk about tonight. When I asked you to be on the show, you said, of course, you'll do it. Tell me why you wanted to talk about Be You. What does that mean to you?
Well, to me, it means like I know a lot of people don't get the chance to like express themselves or like, really feel themselves around certain people or around just anybody in general. So it means to me that like it really is a special thing because I think that especially for me and our community that people should be able to, go out and express themselves and like be themselves, like their characteristics, they should be able to, you know, show themselves basically around everybody instead of like keeping it in and struggling to like hold that in and keeping, you know, not showing anybody who they actually are and being a different person.
Yeah.
So it means like happiness, joy, like excitement, just, the normal.
Good. Absolutely. I think it's important for us to, be authentic, be transparent, be real. God knows us anyway, so why are we pretending, right? Tell us a little bit about you. So, who is Makayla Jones?
I'm 13 years old. I attend Westwood School for Girls in Pasadena, California. And I am really athletic. I like to play volleyball. That's my current sport. I also kind of mm, keep to myself when I'm like at school or anything. I'm an introvert, but when I find those certain people, I tend to like express and um, be myself around others that I feel comfortable around. Um, yeah, I really like arts and crafts. That's the reason why I started getting into my business and what I'm doing. Um, yeah.
Awesome. So, tell me about the business of the BU brand. Tell me more about that. What do you make? What are some things that you can produce for your customers?
So when me and my mom were thinking about this business, I was like tied between like what I should make, and I was really like looking at all these videos, all these TikToks and YouTube videos, and my heart really wanted to do like things that people can wear. So we make hoodies, we make shirts, we are adding some new things, maybe like hats, sweatsuits, and we
Wow.
have other things like water bottles, and I think we might have some phone cases on the way.
Yes, I definitely have my phone case. Matter of fact, I'm gonna pull that out. I have my phone case. I have my shirt. I'm very grateful. I will be placing my order because I definitely need some more merch. That great reminder of being you means something. Let's just kind of talk about some things that have transpired. This is your time to kind of share your experiences. So, we've been in this digital world now for 2 years. It'll be 2 years come mid February, March. What has been your experience in this digital world? How has your life been impacted or changed?
I learned that I definitely do not like learning. I'm more of a physical learner, so I like to be
Mhm.
face to face with my teacher, to where I can ask them questions and they can come to me physically and teach me and like how to do it step by step. Um, I think it's been a change in some good ways, also
Okay.
getting me to realize some things that I didn't know about myself, like the introverted part of me, and um, like things with my friends, who the people I need to be around and people I don't need to be around, stuff like
Mm.
that.
So being able to identify traits about yourself, who you are. But I think what I love that you've already know what kind of learner you are. I think that's great because sometimes people choose different modalities of education and about, okay, I'm just going to take a class online. But you learn quickly, like, I'm not an online learner. I need that social engagement. I need that interaction. Whew. So, and then you mentioned about being with friends, and finding out who needs to be in your crew and who doesn't. So, it's been 2 years, and a lot has changed. How have you been be able to respond in your relationships with friends and family? How have you come forth in that area, or shown
Um,
up rather?
I definitely have been able to, let the bad relationships go, kind of.
Mhm.
I've been able to tell the people that are kind of not doing the things that they should be doing, like as the other part of the friend relationship, um, telling them what they're doing and like if they're doing something as far as mm, like making remarks to stuff as far as like religion, belief. A lot of people that I met, especially at my new school, um, they tend to like have a problem with that. So I kind of have been able to, help other people with relationships and letting them know um, what they need to stop doing uh, to get more of a healthy friend relationship.
Mm. What does that look like? I mean, I haven't been young in a long time. And so, we didn't have social media like y'all. I think the most, and I would say in high school, we have MySpace and the beginning stages of Facebook, but you guys have social media galore. It's overload. How can you have healthy relationships or even be able to give constructive criticism and feedback in a very social media, internet saturated world? How do you guys do that?
Well, I know for some of my friends or classmates, they take breaks from social media, and
Hmm.
when they do that, I think like friend groups or the group of friends that I do have at school, we kind of so like surround each other in a way that we're always gonna like be truthful with each other, depending on like who that friend is. So I think like for example, if anybody says they need to take a break from social media, we kind of like say, okay, I think that was a good idea, or I think that was, give our opinion on what they did, and then that's when we kind of like tell them, okay, this is what you need to do, and then when they get back onto the social media life or whatever they're doing, they kind of like take what we said into consideration, and then they will change it.
Okay. So I take it you're referring to like bullying and other maybe not healthy interactions. Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah, a lot of people I know at my school tend to like flex what they have.
Hmm.
If
Help the older folks like us that might not know what a flex is. Tell us a little bit. What's a flex?
Flex is like they show off what
Oh, okay. Okay. Growing up, I think they called it stunting, for my
they.
generation. They might have called it saying you stunting on folks. Okay. So when they're flexing, trying to show off, trying to be something that they're not. My nieces mentioned that when they were down there in Barbados, image meant a lot. It was one niece had the opportunity to see representation of herself and see more pictures of people praising looks that looked like her, and then others that were following after more of a Eurocentric vibe. Where do you feel that you are in relation to identity? I know you have your BU brand, so I'm pretty sure a lot of that is powered by that. But how do you guard yourself from allowing the images of others to describe you or to make you feel a certain way?
Um, I don't really like. I guess when I see things like that, I don't pay attention to them. I like avoid them a lot. Um, Sometimes I'll go back and look at maybe pictures of myself that I've took, or like, and then, or maybe I'll do affirmations or something. But most of the time, I just avoid all the negative things. You know, maybe I'll take a break from social media.
Yes. Yes. Your your mom asked, "How do you know when you need to take a break from social media? What are some cues that maybe someone listening could learn from you regarding why it's important to take a break? So, what are some cues to help us know when it's time for a social media break?"
For me, it's when my all mixed in. When there's like a story or something going on, when I'm like too into it and I am waiting on what's gonna happen next, I know, oh, maybe I need to like step away from this for a little bit. Or when maybe I'm like putting myself down too much, then I'm like, oh, I need to realize that at least I'm healthy. And some people don't have the privilege of being healthy. So I need to take a step back from that.
That's good. That's good. I think that's it's good that you mentioned about um, feeling too consumed. That's good. Whew, I feel a little conviction there. That because sometimes we can tune in a little bit too much to something, to the drama of life, and instead of stepping back and saying, okay, let me see what reality really is for me, and it's not the sum total of social media. That's good. All right. So, a couple more questions that I have for you, my dear. COVID. Um, how social distancing. Let me use some other words that they're talking about: COVID, social distancing, and testing. What are those things when you hear those things on the news and or even in the home? How do you feel about that?
I think now it's becoming sort of like a new normal, basically for us. Like at my school, we get tested every Tuesday. Like today, we heard from our teacher from the last period before our lunch period to don't forget to get tested, and we're like, oh, here we go again. It's like I think this is just like becoming the new normal in a way, but I think somehow we'll get through this.
Absolutely. So yes, it's a new normal, and yeah, you're able to maneuver with it. But do you feel yourself um, like if you were to explain it to, let's see, your little cousins? They're 2 and 3, right? And maybe they're getting ready to go to, say for instance, they're turning 5 and they're getting ready to go to kindergarten for the first time. What are some things that you would like try to break it down and explain to them, since you've been in a pandemic now? What are some things that you would explain to them?
I would say, like be careful. I would like I know being young and or like being like a baby, like a young child is like hard not to like touch people and engage and stuff. So maybe I would tell them to like try not to like be touchy feely, but you know, sometimes that's hard to contain yourself when you're that young. I would tell them to, have fun because I think that's too big of a worry, especially at that age, for them to be like worrying about that. And yeah,
So do you feel that your generation, your age group, are becoming more conscious and aware during this time?
definitely.
Do you feel like you're able to have a seat at the table and weigh in on decisions than maybe you had maybe in prior years?
I think so, yeah.
So if you could give us older folks some instructions, what would you instruct or share with parents, aunts and uncles, grandparents, that they should do with individuals your age? What are maybe 5 things that you would recommend adults really focus in on when it comes to handling the relationships with your age group?
I would say one, be more understanding of what we're saying, listen more, um, kind of get closer because I know a lot of kids really like. For me, I'm really close, to my family, but a lot of kids at my school or people or my old friends from my old school, they're not really like close to their family, especially in these times. I think that's just a time to get really close
Hmm.
with our families.
Yeah.
Mm, I would say maybe take some time and like not this is like ties in with the get to closer part, like spend like time with them, like maybe like ask them how they're doing every once in a while, because like the things that go on in teenagers heads or like kids heads, like a lot of things going on going to school and then dealing with online school and COVID and stuff like that. And the last thing is just love them to your fullest ability.
That, I mean, that's some good advice. I mean, when you started with the first two about being more understanding and listening more, those are those are some heavy hits right there. And the others that you mentioned, so you mentioned um, understanding, listening more, checking in. You said mentioning about being more like more of that touch points, doing the touch points. Then what was the fourth one? Because I caught the fifth one. What was the fourth one?
uh, Getting closer.
Getting closer, and then of course, um, increasing the love or surrounding them with love. That's not always an easy feat. I think that's hard to do in general with anyone. Um, so I definitely agree that that's huge, Michaela. So um, thank you for sharing those five. Do me a favor though, kind of expand a little bit more on why understanding and listening are so important. Can you do that for me?
Yeah, I feel like sometimes in situations, for me especially with um, the older people in my family, maybe when we're like having conversation about something, especially and about stuff like COVID and like other stuff like that, I think they think, oh, like you're just a kid. How would you know anything? Or like, you're so young that you don't need to know anything about this, or that you wouldn't know anything about this. But I think in your generation,
Hold on, Michaela. I couldn't hear you. Kind of cut out. Say it again.
what's the last part you heard?
About you're a little kid that you don't know too much of what you're talking about. Can you say that again? Pick up from
Oh,
there.
I said in a lot of situations when you're like talking to older people, that they think that, oh, we're just kids, we don't know anything, or we're too young to be knowing anything about what the situation is or what the problem is. And I think in the generation that we are in now, that a lot of kids have like opened their eyes and their ears and have heard more things and have seen more things. So I think that when we have opinions about something, or when we're feeling a certain way about something, that they should listen and understand what we're saying more, because sometimes, or most of the time, when you just push them aside and don't listen to what they're saying, they hold that in and it leads to other things.
Yeah, yeah. Have you had any of your classmates um, struggle in that area with being able to be heard?
Yeah, a lot of my classmates, they're like, their parents want them to be top students, have the best grades, and they'll tell me like, I'm trying my best and my parents just won't listen to me, they won't get it.
So, oof, that's scary. I mean, because I'm like that can go a whole lot of ways. So, you seem to be the encourager of your friend group. You seem to be the one that speaks life to them, and I think you had mentioned about sharing your faith with your friends. So you're the leader. You're not a follower. You're a leader. You're playing volleyball. You're excellent in your sports and your academic. What do you see your life being after high school? You go through what do you see for your future?
Um, I really hope, and I think I know I see myself still being athletic, still playing my sport. Um, still being involved in everything
I'm
with
sorry, I can't hear you. It goes low. Say that one more time. You see yourself being athletic and what else?
still being as athletic as I am now. Still playing my sport, still being as good as I am at it now. Hopefully, and even better.
Mm,
And I see myself, carrying BE brand to be something bigger, especially in a couple of years, and just letting more people know about the message that we're sharing with this.
okay. Okay. So, you know, you mentioned about growing your brand in a few years and elevating your sports. Do you have an occupation or do you want to be 100% entrepreneur and be your own boss?
Mm, I when people ask me what I want to do, I always say I've always wanted to be a lawyer, but
Hmm.
I think now I'm leaning more to entrepreneur.
Okay. Okay. And if we could fast forward in that full entrepreneurial atmosphere, where would you want your brand to take you? Do you want it to be a movement? Do you see yourself, on the runways, the fashion runways, or what would you see BU brand to be?
I think I would see us to be more of like a movement, like a company that will like, help people and like, as we get bigger, I would like to do donations to you know, um, certain organizations to help them
Hmm.
out with maybe kids who are struggling with the problem that we're trying to fix now.
Yeah, I I think that would be very well received. So, um, the political landscape. Do you follow politics?
Not really.
Okay, but you have seen some of the stuff that's went on in the recent years, recent times. What are your thoughts on just the political place that we are in, the different movements that are being done?
From the looks of it, our presidency has gotten better. I think, um,
Hmm.
the people in the White House are doing more things to help the country do what we need to do and be better as a country, I think.
Okay. Um, I think it's interesting because I always look at the younger people when, especially because of social media, there's quick clicks to everything, right? You can watch something in an instant, and then of course, the different tragedies that have been caught on social media. Not, everything on social media hasn't been great, so seeing how you all respond, and I know you mentioned already about taking those social media breaks, but just wanting to get it like a gauge on the political portion, or where you see yourself, or do you feel that we're moving in the right direction? I know you mentioned that you believe that we are, but just wanted to get you to weigh in on some of the same topics that us grown folks sit around and talk about all the time. It's not just um, I would say like work and the traditional things. Like we're talking about heavy subjects, and clearly, you all have a take on it too. So like when the George Floyd incidents and the various things that were captured, what did that do for you during the times where you're able to consciously see these things? What did it do for you?
Um, I know when that video first came out, my I had saw it on my mom's phone when she was watching it, and I got really scared. I didn't even want to go outside for a while.
Okay.
Um, but as it like grew, and then we learned more about um, what we need, or maybe like what we can do to help them like stop the police brutality and stuff like
Mhm.
that. I think all the movements and the marches, um, I think that helped me like realize, okay, we have, hope for
Mhm.
Black community.
That's good. That's good. I appreciate you so much. Okay, so you were able to see some things. Let's see. Um, yes, speaking in existence. They're saying love you, KK. Listen, I am very, very honored just to have you on the show. But I want to ask you a couple more questions just to kind of pull more, just have good dialogue and discussion with you, if you don't mind. What are some things that you just like to do for fun outside of playing volleyball, outside of building your brand, your empire? What are some things that you like to do for fun?
Um, I really like going to the mall with my friends every once in a while. We get together and go to the mall and just go shopping, Um, I like spending quality time with my mom, um, talking about things to her. It really helps me to get stuff off my mind
Mm-hmm.
that I've maybe been holding in. And every once in a while, I like cleaning, I always clean my room, but like really decluttering and making sure everything's like spotless sometimes too.
Well, that's, I mean, listen, you're well above so many others when you, especially when it comes down to cleanliness and making sure you're organized. That's something great that you want to keep going all the days of your life. So, I'm going to do like a little fast round. Okay, going to do a little fast round of a few topics. Okay, the first one we're going in this fast round. I'm just going to share a topic, and then you quickly respond with your take on it, your thoughts on it, and that'll be how we'll wrap up our conversation. Does that work?
Yes.
Drug use.
I think it's bad. I mean, adults have their own decisions. That's their decisions to make, but I think that they should keep it away from kids and especially teens our age from doing it.
Okay, peer pressure.
That's a hard thing to go through, especially like at school and stuff. I know we have a lot of us don't like to raise our hands and give our opinions and stuff in classes, so I think we just that's a really hard thing for us to go to. It's really scary.
Okay, insecurities.
Everybody has them. I mean, everybody has at least one, I think. And sometimes they're really hard to like get over and for us to realize that we, can that we need to love ourselves and stuff like that, but I think it's just a matter of time.
Okay, saving money.
A good thing to do, a wise choice, because at the end of the day, I know a lot of people like shopping is everybody loves that, spending money, getting expensive things, especially going into Target, expecting to buy one thing and then getting 20 million things is a lot. But I think saving is a really good choice, really nice choice for somebody to make.
Okay, self care.
Very important, very important. Everybody should take at least one day, out of a month or out of the week or something to just, focus on them.
Okay, relationships like boyfriend girlfriend.
My generation is way too young for that. I think we should not be doing stuff like that. Not right now. Maybe when we get older, but not for me. And then for adults, I think it's their choice.
Okay, I love it. I love it. Of course, your mom said amen quickly with that one. I love it. Thank you so much, Michaela, for the lightning round for you to share on some of those topics. I think it's important that we hear, especially when off the top, not even having to think about it, just where you stand on this. Okay, so last one for the night. Okay, who do you think is going to win the Super Bowl out of the
Ooh,
teams that are playing? Because I know your mother is very sad. that her
Oh yeah,
team has to watch from the sofa?
I feel like personally we got cheated out of our game. I really think we did, but I think it's gonna be the Chiefs Tampa Bay. Tampa
You
Bay.
think it's gonna be the Chief in Tampa Bay? Okay, I'm taking predictions. These next few weeks, as I talk to my guests, I'm taking predictions. Let's see what happens. Now the chat pod is going on. Okay, Chief in Tampa Bay is what Michaela is saying. I love it. I think we'll see. We'll stay tuned for the upcoming episodes. So, your mother is definitely believing that you all got cheated. I'm sorry, but the Cowboys just did what the Cowboys do. All right. It was a good run. You guys tried. She knows I love her. Okay. So, nevertheless, I do want to say you mentioned to me that you had something for our listeners on tonight. Can you share with them what you are offering?
Yes, we have a 24-hour discount code for you guys. So if you guys wanted to order something from my shop, you guys will get a discount on your order.
And that is going to www.bubymikayla.com and type in that discount code BHEAL2022. All right. I love it. I love it. And again, I implore all of our listeners tonight, those that even might watch the replay, support this young queen, this young entrepreneur who's doing great and amazing things. Michaela, can you show them your sweatshirt? That's beautiful, high quality, great. I know my mom has her sweatshirt. I have my t-shirt and my phone cases, but the message is clear: be you. So if anyone is struggling with identity on tonight, anyone is feeling that they're not enough, or unsure, remember to be you. Look in the mirror and speak well to yourself. You are enough. You are awesome. You are great. Makayla Jones, Miss Mogul in the making, my entrepreneur, the CEO of BU Brand. I want to say thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you
Thank
for
you. Thank you. Thank you. Now, you're always welcome back here on the Be Heal Web Show. But I'm going to let you have some closing remarks to our listeners, whether young or old, however you like to close them out, where they can find you, all the great things. You can do that. And then we'll say ta ta for now.
thank you guys for watching me and watching or listening to me share my story and my take on the things that are going on in the world and what I'm doing with my business right now. You guys can find me on Instagram at bu at b_u.2021. And my Gmail, if you had any questions, is bubrand2021 at gmail.com.
BU Brand 2022 at Gmail,
2020.
2021. Okay, BU Brand at 2021 at gmail.com. That's the email there. But of course, we want folks to purchase tonight, you all. BU by Makayla.com. We want to see not only more visits to the website, we want to see purchases. Okay, and make sure you throw in that discount code BHIL2022. Let her know that Camille sent you over. All right. We're so grateful to have you all on tonight. Next week, we're going to be continuing in our series of Their Voices Matter with Miss Chase Morgan Sullivan. She is going to share with us on next Tuesday, if the Lord allows us to see it. So again, I want to say thank you to you, Miss Jones. Thank you to all those who tuned in on tonight. We hope that you were blessed and encouraged to be yourself, be you. God made you. Psalms 139, verse 13 and 14. I will praise thee, O Lord, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Okay, that is something for us to be grateful and thankful about. No one else is like us. You might see some people that look familiar to you. You might see some folks that kind of remind you of someone else, but there is only one you. So, as Miss Makayla Jones has told us, be you. So much so, be you over at bumikayla.com. BUByMakayla.com and get that products that she's selling, because you definitely want we definitely want to support. And so Miss Veronica Jones is saying that you guys got to connect. Okay, so we're already looking at some deals and business moves are happening here. So I'm so grateful for you. So until next time, everyone, stay tuned for Be Healed Web Show. We'll be together next week on the 20. I believe that will make us the 25th of January, if the Lord allows us to see it. We're going to have Miss Chase Sullivan, and she's going to talk about reflecting and realizing some things of who she is and her own identity process in this time. So I look forward to talking to more of the youth and young adults. If by chance you are of any age and you want to share your story, please do so. Contact me at behealedwebshow@gmail.com. And if you're ready to share your story, send me a quick little link, and or go to our website at www.behealedwebshow.com. But you can definitely check us out. Send us that you're interested in being on the show, and we'll get back to you expeditiously. All right, Makayla, honey, I love you. I thank God for you. May the Lord continue to bless you. May He keep you. May His face always shine upon you. May you have favor in every room and boardroom that you will go into. May you have great success on your campuses, even while you're playing your volleyball. May God continue to order your steps, because you have greatness on your life. And I'm grateful for you. And I cannot wait to see what God does for you, Miss Michaela Jones, because you're helping someone else find who they are. You're supporting an affirmation for them to be themselves, and God's going to richly bless you for that. So I'm grateful. I'm thankful for you. Have a wonderful night. Till next time, everyone. Same back time, same Be Healed channel, YouTube and Facebook Live at 7 p.m. Love you, and we'll see you soon. Kayla, hang out with me for a second, okay, babe?